Hello, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about the PlayStation 5 and if it is a one-trick pony. So, I know that sounds a little confusing, you know, one-trick pony or whatever, but hear me out. I know it might sound like I'm bashing the PlayStation, but really I'm not. I just, kind of feel like Sony did this to themselves. So there's been an argument a lot lately that the PlayStation 5 is outperforming the Xbox Series X. And in my personal experience, guys, like that's not the case. I've got a lot of these games on both consoles, and that just isn't the case. And every new game that starts coming out, it's starting to show that hey PA, how's it going, man? I'm really curious about this one, Trey. Yeah. Okay, so why I asked that is, okay, so we saw this just goes to like a discussion, kind of like a thing I've been talking about. Hey, Michael Milburn, welcome to the show. So I've been hearing about, okay, so Ratchet and Clank is the best thing we've seen on the PlayStation 5 to date, right? Ratchet and Clank looks freaking amazing. That 4K 30 with ray tracing looks unbelievable. The performance mode alone is pretty solid. 60 frames a second, really good. Apparently, there's 120 hertz mode in this game as well, to where it'll give you 40 frames a second at the 4K ray tracing mode if you have a 120 hertz display, and then it also has the performance ray tracing mode, which is 60 frames a second. Albeit at a much lower resolution. But here's the thing, okay. That there is one of PlayStation's top freaking developers. Insomniac, they're amazing at what they do. Their craft, and we all know that they didn't put this Ratchet and Clank game together in a year. I mean, they've been working on this obviously for a few years, so they've known what the PlayStation 5 was going to offer. Not only that, they were also given development kits far before Xbox Series X and Series S started pushing out the dev kits for the Xboxes. Okay, so now that we're closer to now that Xbox has been out for 8 months, we're going to start getting our first games this month and throughout the end of the year. Trust me, guys, if I'm wrong about this, if these games from Microsoft do suck and don't hold up, I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to. We've waited almost a year it'll be a year by the time I get Forza Horizon 5. So if these games don't hold up, you're going to hear about it on this channel. So, but with PlayStation, okay, these developer kits have been out for a long time. The PlayStation 5, they've had exclusive games from start till now. Like Demon's Souls came out, looked freaking amazing, but I would argue that Ratchet and Clank with the ray tracing looks much better at the 4K 30. I mean, that's just me. They're two different art styles completely. They both look amazing. But when I'm talking about one trick pony, the reason I bring that up is because of Doom Eternal. Okay. Doom Eternal, Bethesda is now a Microsoft first party studio. Okay. I could have gone either way if they didn't upgrade the Doom Eternal for the PlayStation 5. I would have been like, well, I guess it is what it is. It's not like Insomniac came back and upgraded gosh dang it, what's the name of that freaking game? It's not like they came back and upgraded Sunset Overdrive for the Xbox Series or One X or Series X. So I could have gone either way with that and been like, yeah, I guess it really doesn't matter, but they did. And Xbox Series X, now that we're starting to get like variable rate reshading, we're starting to get the mesh shaders, we're starting to get the and we haven't even seen DirectML. We haven't seen DirectML yet. That is a hardware based solution to upscaling inside the Xbox Series X and S. So that technology is still coming. Who knows when it'll be there, but at this point right now, we don't really need it right now with these cross-gen games. The way I feel, we don't really need that technology too much, because there's only so far you can really push a cross-gen game to where it looks, they already look and play amazing, at 4K 60. So when I talk about one trick pony for the PlayStation 5, I'm talking about the SSD, guys. The SSD is their one. That's the one technology, I think, just like PS3 based everything on that cell chip. I think PlayStation might honestly have based everything on this faster SSD. Because I mean, if you look at the visuals of the PlayStation 5 compared to, say, the Xbox One X, definitely it's an improvement. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely an improvement, but I feel like it's closer in line with the Xbox One X than it is going to be like next gen visuals. I'm not trying to kick Sony. I'm not trying to be mean to them. I'm really not, but I feel like I still feel like they kind of cheaped out on the hardware, and we're going to see things drastically change throughout this generation. In favor of the Xbox. So if you bought an Xbox Series X, man, you're set, man. You're going to truly experience some next gen things with Microsoft the cloud. I know they've talked about it and nothing's really panned out yet, but I am super optimistic about Flight Simulator. We already see this technology working on the PC side. This game can stream the whole freaking planet from the cloud to your console or to your television or to your monitor. So that to me is freaking next gen. PlayStation 5, yes, dude, it can definitely load 3 seconds of a fall into another world instantaneously with all the detail, everything. Yes, it is fast. It loads fast. But like, really, I mean, can it load in a whole planet? I mean, those levels in Ratchet and Clank are technically pretty small. Like the square footage of being able to run around on them, or like, it's not a very big game by any means. So when I talk about PlayStation being a one-trick pony with the SSD, I really do, guys. I feel like they kind of put everything on that SSD. They slacked off on power. They slacked off on CPU speed. They gave it a split pool of, having to, like, it can either run CPU operations faster or it can run GPU operations faster. But I'm telling you guys, I have MotoGP 2021, okay, on both consoles, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X. You can definitely see a noticeable, if you go from one version to the other, you can definitely tell a noticeable drop in clarity, as well as other features when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. Ride 4 is no different. Xbox looks like it's pushing these games at a higher resolution, and less checkerboarding. There's not as much blur or fuzz going on when it comes to, like, the back tire spinning. You can see, like, it looks fuzzy around the rim and in the chain and everything on the PlayStation 5, where it looks a lot more crisp on the Xbox Series X. I really want to believe you on these next-gen games on Series X, but, man, I have to see it already. Forza 5 is not it. Halo Infinite is not it. Starfield won't be it. We have to wait until 2023. Yeah, those games might not be those games. Like I said, PA, as soon as those games launch and I see them, like, I'm gonna be completely honest on this channel. Like, I'm gonna bring fire, dude. If they don't meet my unrealistic expectations, dude, you're gonna hear about it, man. I'm not saying that PlayStation doesn't meet my expectations, guys, by any means. By any means, I'm satisfied with my PlayStation 5 experience. So when Mark Cerny came out and told us about the PlayStation 5 and told us that it was going to be less powerful than the Xbox Series X, in my mind, I just said, well, hey, at least some games are going to be 4K. And that's been the case. I mean, whether they're 30 frames a second, you literally have to look at both versions of these games, PA. You have to look at both versions, like WRC9. You have to look at them, like, switching back and forth to notice the differences. I mean, on WRC9, the differences are a lot are a lot more. If you go into cockpit cam where you can see through the window and you're driving around anywhere that has vegetation, trees, or anything, you get the screen door effect no matter what. There's no way to fix this. On the Xbox, it looks clearer, it looks fuller, it looks like there's more detail and stuff. So I mean, like that there. Everything else, though, for the most part, looks pretty much the same, except for the way the PlayStation renders like colors and stuff, man. That's that to me, if I had never seen the Xbox, it would be fine. Good morning, Andy. I tried to get on late so that you could be on today. But to look at the way, like, if you've never seen an Xbox Series X and you have a PlayStation 5, dude, you're happy. Like, I'm happy. I would be satisfied with that experience. Like, it wouldn't even bother me. But seeing as I have both, the only reason I do this now, guys, is because I used to be one of them freaking diehard Sony fanboys. Like, I that's all I cared about, dude. I could care less about Xbox or anything about, anything else. I was 100% Sony fanboy. After having both of these consoles and playing them, being able to play them side by side, buying the same software on both consoles, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is probably the best thing I have, because I can share my save between both games. So that right there, like, I can see is exactly what's going on both games either way. Like, it's always pretty much the same, except for the weather, the time of day weather thing. Yeah, it definitely is dynamic across both games. It does not share the dynamic weather settings, period. Like, it could be, it'll be like the same time of day, but the cloud position will be completely different on either game. But that is one of the games that, like, if you go to Yarvik, which is the snow city up north in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, that was the worst performing part of the game I had been to the whole time I was playing. When I first got this game, there was a lot of screen tearing, a lot of frame dropping. If you go there on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, the screen tearing's basically gone on both games. Maybe a little bit here and there, but nowhere near like it was. But the crowd density on the Series X versus the PS5, there's way more people on the Xbox side, and the resolution, it looks about the same, pretty close. It does look pretty close. So far, my PS5 is not meeting my expectations. Still no VRR and additional SSD. I heard another rumor, PA, that we might be getting SSD next month, but dude, at this point, man, I'm basically freaking over it. Yeah, well, that's probably exactly what that PS4 Pro, Andy, was one freaking hell of a loud system, dude. I don't know if it could have handled my gaming habits had I not had an Xbox, dude, to tell you the truth. That thing, when I played God of War on it, that thing would scream, dude. It would so freaking loud, dude. Only 2 exclusives and $70 is too much for these games. PA, with the $70, I did this live yesterday, bro. Like, the $70 price for the Sony first party games. I completely agree that right now I don't believe any of them have been worth $70. To tell you the truth, I just don't feel like that value has been there. $60 all day long, I could have paid those. $50 for Returnal would have been a fair price. When we start getting Naughty Dog's games and we start getting Santa Monica's games and the other games that are going to be coming out, then we'll be able to more accurately judge if the cost is worth the price of admission, and the exclusives, the third party exclusives that will be coming to PlayStation. That Forspoken looks freaking good, dude. Final Fantasy 16, it looks pretty good, man. Like, I'm perfectly okay with paying $70 for these games if they meet the longevity of content. You know what I mean? Like, I want a 30-hour game, guys. For $70, I want a 30-hour game. I want a good 30-hour story that is going to keep me entertained for 30 hours. I want it to look good, and I want the performance, to be 60 frames a second, but I don't want to lose a whole lot of, graphic fidelity on my PlayStation games to get there. So yeah, dude, it's kind of a mixed bag when it comes to PlayStation right now. Their lack of putting in that really good SSD and stuff, their lack of skipping out on power and CPU, even though it seems like a little bit, like 2 teraflops is pretty big, dude. That's like a whole PlayStation 4 Pro short of the Xbox, guys. When it comes down to it, in the end, that's a whole freaking and it's technically not even. It's almost 3 teraflops. Hey, Darkest Hero, what's up, my friend? It's almost 3 teraflops short, because without boost mode, that thing is 9.2 teraflops. Okay, it's 9.2. That's 3 more than the Xbox One X, just enough to give you a little bit, I mean, when it comes down to it, man, there is going to be a power difference. Yes, both consoles are going to have to use tricks to get us up to a 4K resolution and still hold the 60 to 120. But if you look at IdTech, okay, I was talking to somebody on my on the Twitter thing, and he was saying something about NA. When do you think Xbox Series X or PS5 will be available in stores in Europe? I would, if I were you, NA, every single day, I would just start checking the Microsoft store. That's where I got both of my Xboxes. I got my PlayStation 5 from Target. Target just did a PlayStation 5 drop yesterday. So they probably have, I mean, and when Target does a PS5 drop, they drop a lot of consoles. So I would start checking. I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to, I think by the end of this year, I do think that freaking stock is gonna start getting better, because there's no way they're not building 100,000 freaking Xboxes a day, guys. I mean, unless they don't have the parts for that. I mean, that would really suck, dude. But imagine if Xbox games like Starfield, Fable, and Avowed are 9 out of 10 and basically free on Game Pass. Then how will we be able to justify the $70 per game on PS5? PA. When it comes to Xbox Game Pass, like I said, it is getting hard to compare Xbox to PlayStation, because of the simple fact that they don't compete with each other anymore. I mean, they do in a sense of, like fanboyism and stuff like that. But when it comes down to it, it's not a competition anymore. Microsoft now, because of Game Pass, has to acquire developers, has to feed Game Pass. And, I mean, whereas PlayStation, as a PlayStation fan, guys, honestly, I'm going to tell you guys, like, seriously, the only reason I even bought an Xbox One S last generation or even cared about it was because of Forza Horizon 3 Blizzard Mountain. I wanted to play Blizzard Mountain. That was it. That was the one thing that I was like, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy an Xbox too, just to play that game. And what happened was, over the course of time, I started feeling bad that I had this console and I only had one game for it. So I started buying more. I bought like For Honor, and I bought a couple more games on it. And then, because I already had a PlayStation 4 Pro, so I was pretty happy with that. And my Fuzz K, or I meant 4K on my 4K TV, it looked pretty good in Fuzz K. But when that Xbox One X came out, and like I loaded up Assassin's Creed Origins on that, I was blown away, dude. I was like, yep, I definitely want the power, man. I definitely want, this looks amazing on my 4K TV. It looked way better. So that right there helped me, have more of an open mind toward both consoles. So when it comes down to it, in the end, I don't really think Microsoft is really trying to compete with PlayStation anymore, dude. Like they don't need to, now that they have Bethesda and everything else. Like, I don't see PlayStation having or even needing to go out, or Xbox needing to compete with PlayStation anymore. Like, if we're a Game Pass subscriber, we get access to these games day and date. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're amazing games or not. I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't technically, because we're not going to be out, like you said, PA, that $70 price per game. But on PlayStation, that's their bread and butter, dude. They have to nail it when they put out these $70 games, man. They have to. And right now, I give them a C when it comes to being able to hit that with I mean, like Ratchet and Clank, I don't regret paying, buying the deluxe version of it. I mean, it was a beautiful game. I don't regret it. But at the same time, I don't think that the average gamer is going to appreciate the visuals and everything like that the way I do. So they're not going to care about that as much. And they're going to care about, the little bit of gameplay they get out of that, which can range anywhere from, if you play it on the easiest mode, you could probably beat that in about 6 hours. If you play it on, the hardest mode, it might stretch it to like 15 hours, maybe 16 hours. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, but you got to understand, mostly kids are going to play this game. So the kids are going to, play it a lot longer. When games become more demanding, we will see the power delta come into play. Right now, most games are made on PS4 and Xbox One and ported to next gen. Yeah, I definitely see that. I mean, that is definitely the case. Like right now, they're still using, Durango and PlayStation's, well, that it is kind of no. So Xbox's whole GDK spans across all of them. So you have the new Scarlet GDK that spans across, from Xbox One all the way to the PC, whereas PlayStation has two different SKUs or two different console sets that they have to develop for now. So yeah, but as soon as they start making games purely for next gen, I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Ratchet and Clank technically was the first next gen game that was a new game created solely on the PlayStation 5. So that's why I'm saying, this might have been a freaking a one trick, like the PlayStation 5 might be a one trick pony. Right, I agree. We won't be out 70 on Xbox, but the games, in my opinion, need to compete in quality with the PS5 games. Yeah, you're completely right. They do. I dropped Netflix 6 months ago because I was fed up with the yeah. So we do run that risk, PA. That is definitely a risk that we run by having Game Pass on Xbox. I mean, right now it's an amazing value. In 6 months, it could fall apart. Just like it. I mean, it's taken Microsoft a lot to build this up, and I don't necessarily think that they're going to be all out to jump out and put games out there that are filler stuff. I mean, like we do have to accept the fact that games like Forza Horizon 5 might switch to a 3-year cycle. We have to accept the fact that Halo Infinite might be the only the Halo game we get this generation, and it's probably going to be a live service. We have to accept the fact that a lot of these games that they are going to make are going to be bigger in scope, but at the same time are going to grow as this generation goes on. So me personally, like I love my PlayStation first party single player experiences. Like I do. And I don't have a problem paying the $70 for them if they're good. I am going to be a lot more selective when it comes to it. There's only, maybe a couple of the companies that I'll buy day one, regardless, depending. Hey, Felix, how you doing, my friend? What risk? Just unsubscribe. Where's risk? Help me. Unsubscribe from what? Yeah, exactly. From the Game Pass. You don't have to you don't have to keep your thing, but if they don't keep the quality of the content good, Ethan Pierce story. Hold on, Andy. Let me see what you got going on. Yeah, I do. I actually bought the new DLC on the Xbox or on the PlayStation 5 so that I could have a reason to play it. And so far, man, I kind of like it. Like I like Aiden Pierce, but at the same time, man, I don't know, man. I'm having a hard time getting back into Watch Dogs Legion. I quit playing it after playing Assassin's Creed at 60 frames a second. I kind of just stopped playing the Watch Dogs one. I was pretty far on the Xbox, and then I picked it up on the PlayStation as well, so I could do my little comparison thing or whatever. And so I bought the DLC on the PlayStation, but I really hate playing this game on the PlayStation controller. It doesn't feel natural, so it's kind of thrown me off. But I am getting around to it. I am going to play it. So yeah, I will let you know exactly how I'm feeling about it. If Xbox games suck, I'll do the same with Game Pass quality. Yeah, exactly, dude. If it starts getting terrible, just get rid of it. So you're saying the Xbox games will mostly be live service games? I'm thinking that's where they're going to go, PA. To tell you the truth, I think that's that's kind of the way it's kind of the way I feel with what they've explained on the Halo Infinite is, yeah, dude, it's going to be a live service. In a way, that's not a bad thing. So I do kind of, I don't know, man. I do kind of like the fact of live service. I do. But then I don't. at the same time, it totally depends on the game. Like MMOs and stuff being live service, I like those. It definitely helps them get content into our hands a lot faster, but at the same time, I feel like it slows down, gaming, the growth of gaming to an extent, because they're not out there trying to one up themselves, on the next best thing. They just keep creating. I mean, like, look at where the Crew 2 is right now. I want a next gen upgrade for the Crew 2 so bad, but they've yet to give me one. And they keep pumping out new content for it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if they're going to treat these games as live service, then they need to continuously update the visuals and everything else, instead of just leaving it up in the air. Soy Two Mangs, Xbox always wins. That's the new damn catchphrase. Oh, goodness. Watch Dogs is 60 now. Yeah, it's at 60. You can either still have your 30 FPS with ray tracing, or you can go over and do the 60 FPS. It does run and look pretty good at 60 FPS. I'm not gonna lie. The ray tracing is still pretty. I don't know, dude. I can't play it at 30 frames a second no more, dude. It's getting so hard to play open world games at 30 FPS. Yeah, but it is definitely 60 now, Felix. That's why I got a cheap Pro for Sony first party games like The Last of Us and Days Gone. Yeah, I mean, the PS4 Pro wasn't a terrible piece of hardware, but I'm not sure I like this idea. Imagine a single player game releasing with only one episode or something. Not sure. Well, I mean, think about this, PA. I mean, even Assassin's Creed is going live service model, and as long as they can, if they treated it like Fortnite, I hate to say it, but the Fortnite model is quickly becoming king when it comes to games. And right now they're trying to balance, these companies are trying to balance, cost of making games versus cost of updating and upgrading games. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, that's exactly why I'm okay with paying $70 for Sony first party games, PA. If they're the only ones going to be left in the business that are still making those, but Xbox isn't going all live service on all their games. I mean, we're still going to get they are investing far more into single player first party stories, so that's good as well. But a lot of the bigger franchises that we like, the ones that require a constant new version all the time, I'm pretty sure all of that stuff is going to start going live service. Like Halo's going live service, Call of Duty's already live service now. You've got, Battlefield that's going live service. Everything's going live service. Everything that requires a new numbered entry every few years or whatever is going live service, and they're going to start stretching out. And if they start, like, yeah, dude, like that's kind of the way it's going to go. I mean, we're still going to have our third party and first party and everything that are going to be out there just making those single player experiences still. But you never know, man. That might be a good thing, me personally, I'm sick and tired of buying. Hey, Russell, how's it going, my friend? Me personally, I'm sick and tired of having to buy a new Assassin's Creed or whatever every year, or a new Call of Duty. Yeah, dude, make them live service. Just keep adding new content, whatever. I'd rather pay like a $30 fee, every 6 months or a year than have to buy a new game and then completely forget about that game. Yeah, dude, I tried to reinstall Warzone today, and it made me so freaking mad that I can't just install Warzone and play the damn campaign without all this other freaking garbage in there that I don't even care about. Yeah, dude, I got mad when I started seeing it was almost like 270 freaking gigabytes. I'm like, nope, I'm done. I don't even want the whole Warzone thing in there. So yeah, dude, I'm not gonna keep buying Call of Duty games if they're just gonna keep filling up my hard drive with them. NBA, UFC, MLB. Yeah, exactly. Every single one of those games you just mentioned, Felix, should go freaking, they should go live service. And every year or every 2 years, maybe update the visuals a little bit, I mean, I want them to update the visuals. And that's the biggest reason of like buying the new games. Yeah, I see your point on the $70 now, but imagine if Sony started charging $70, but for like, yeah, that's not Sony's MMO, dude. Sony doesn't even have the teams in place to create live service games like the rest of these guys do, man. Sony is a one-trick pony, bro, and that's fine. I'm fine with that. I know that Sony Magic is going to deliver first-party Sony games that are going to be unbelievable, dude, and I'm going to love every single one of them for the most part. As long as they leave all this freaking SJW garbage out of it, I think it'll be okay, but I don't know, man. It just depends on the creative directors, I guess, of whoever's making what. PlayStation 4 or PlayStation Pro with decent super sampling and HDR looking beautiful. I don't see a need for a PlayStation 5. Oh yeah, dude, like PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 4 first party games, Andy, they looked amazing, bro. They rivaled anything on the Xbox One X, you know, in terms of visual quality at 30 frames a second. So yeah, you're definitely at a good place with that PlayStation 4 Pro. That is for sure. You know, and I always thought that, you know, that, hey guys, PlayStation makes the best looking games. But then I saw Gears 5, bro. And I was playing that on my Xbox One X and I'm like, damn, dude, this looks pretty good. And this feels pretty good at 60 frames a second, man. And then I'm looking at my PlayStation games and they're all 30 frames a second. And I'm like, these look pretty good. But I mean, what Xbox, you know, what the coalition has achieved with games like, you know, Gears 5, with Gears 5, like I'm pretty confident that this generation is going to continue to bring us some amazing experiences. Like I'm already freaking, dude, I'm already screwed. I can't go back to 30 frames a second. I don't know how to now. The only way I can play 30 frames a second now is if I start playing my gaming session on a 30 frame per second game, then it's okay. I can usually be okay. But if it goes to, oh man, but if I play anything 60 frames a second and try to go back, I just can't do it, man. And it's weird because last generation, we had games that were 60 frames a second, but it never, ever, ever hit me until this generation when I started playing games I normally would play, single player, first party, or single player experiences at 60 frames a second. Yeah, open world games at 60 frames a second. Yeah, that kind of changed everything because before it was all shooters and drivers. Now it's basically everything at 60 frames a second, which is high buster. Yeah, dude, Gears 5 high busters is crazy. Yeah, I can't wait to see the coalition use id Tech to make their next game, dude. So if you look at id Tech, I mean, Insomniac's good. They're good at what they do. But if you haven't seen Doom Eternal with these new upgrades, oh boy, man, it is kind of hard to make the argument that the Xbox can't stand on its own 2 feet visually with the developers that it has now. Like Bethesda has brought some very, very talented people that build engines as well as make some of the best RPGs on the planet. And I mean, I don't think I'm crazy. I do like Bethesda RPGs a lot. Like they're pretty good. I do like them and I do play them a lot. I loved BioWare back when BioWare was BioWare, but now I don't know what the hell BioWare is. So I don't know, man. I wish that BioWare would get bought by Xbox, maybe even NetherRealm Studios. Oh, this Beans and Brews stuff is so good, dude. I'm so addicted to it now. Cannot stop drinking these freaking Mr. B's. They're so good. So who all watched my video earlier, my 8 months of Xbox? Did you guys like it? Saw Digital Found. Yeah, exactly. I watched that today too. And I was thinking, I was like, gosh, man. And they said they're still not done updating Doom Eternal, man. They're going to be bringing more tech as they as it gets finished and as it's created. And that VRS, that variable rate shading, you know, being able to hit 1800p and hold that on the Xbox at 120 frames a second, dude. I didn't see Ratchet and Clank running at 120 frames a second on the freaking PS5, and I sure didn't see Ratchet and Clank running at, you know, 4K with ray tracing. I mean, we got 1800p with ray tracing at 60 frames a second. I don't expect games like Horizon Forbidden West or the new God of War to feature ray tracing, at least not a lot of ray tracing. But now that I've seen, honestly, guys, now that I've seen Doom Eternal running that with ray tracing at 1800p, guys, I do like the way that ray tracing looks, man. It looks a lot better. I mean, games that are running it with 4K 30, like Control and Ratchet and Clank and stuff, yeah, they look good, but that damn experience of 30 frames per second is just holding everything back. They need to get rid of that so that we can. The sooner they rip the Band-Aid off the 30 frames per second and get rid of it and just start making games that look decent enough but run at 60 and can feature all this, the better, man. Because we keep going back to these games and be like, oh yeah, they're beautiful, but they look like they run like crap at 30 frames per second, guys. I did watch it. Your video summarized pretty much everything I liked about Xbox. One of the underrated features to me is the cloud save, whether you play on Xbox and PC. Yeah. I mean, I know I should probably emphasize that a little better, but when it's just so seamless, PA, that it's like, oh gosh, you forget about it because everything is just, it's there and it's cohesive and it freaking works. And you don't got to sit and, dude, on my PlayStation, man, I'm not even joking, dude. I mean, I love my PlayStation, but this freaking UI on the PlayStation is just so freaking archaic, dude. It's like, what the freak, man? But yeah, dude, Xbox is a software developer, man. They know how to make this stuff work pretty good, dude. I'm pretty happy with it. Doom Eternal pushing the bar like Flight Simulator. Yeah, exactly, dude. As soon as, think about it, man. If this Flight Simulator works out good and we can literally fly our planes all over the world, imagine open world games that have actual real world locations that are streamed in through the cloud. You know what I mean? Like they stream in, like miles away, that you can't really see on the thing, I mean, your data is constantly streaming in. Like imagine like a real live, the Crew 2 actually driving in the real world, like loading in like half a state at a time, as you're driving through it, and you drive from, California all the way to freaking New York, and it takes you that long to drive there, I mean, yeah, dude, this cloud thing is pretty amazing. Like I'm pretty excited about the possibilities of true next gen gaming through the use of cloud features. I mean, if everybody would have been on board with Xbox last generation, guys, this tech would have been so much farther along than it is now. But everybody had to cry about having an internet connection. Everybody wanted to, this tech could have been way, way better, dude. Crackdown 3 could have been amazing. But yeah, man, honestly, gaming on Xbox is just awesome. People don't know how or what they are. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you go, so here's the thing though, PA, if like you're a PlayStation guy and you go Xbox, you're always going to hold that little grudge, like, oh, PlayStation's better or whatever, because everybody develops their own bias and stuff. But like, if you just let yourself go and experience stuff and just game to game, yeah, dude, Xbox is a pretty decent system, man. Xbox is doing a pretty dang good job with the user interface, with accessibility. Yeah, I've been gaming, got 35 years of Xbox ecosystem right now is absolute. Yeah, exactly. And that's about where I'm at. I'm about 35 years old, or 5 years old when I started first playing. So yeah, about 36 years. I'll be 41 here soon. So I got about 36 years of gaming. And yeah, dude, I always go back to just the way I felt when I first started playing video games, like as a little kid, playing that Mario. I'm not going to lie, dude. I stayed pretty, I stayed pretty close to Nintendo up till PlayStation 1, and then it was all over from there. I was a pony, but then I bought a 1X, everything changed. Yeah, exactly. That's where I was at, man. I mean, that 1S wasn't going to win over wasn't going to win nothing over, but that Xbox 1X, dude, definitely had me looking more at the experience visually, being able to have a more consistent experience across the board, because Microsoft games, first party games, and third party games were pretty much in lockstep, visually wise. they, anything that was made on Unreal basically looked, about the same across the whole generation, kept the visual standard and stuff. Me personally, like visuals matter probably a lot more than a lot of stuff. Cause I could play a game like the Medium at 4K, 60 frames for 30 frames a second, and as long as the visuals look good, I keep playing it, man. I mean, if a game has really good visuals, I can keep playing it. If it doesn't, dude, I mean, it breaks the immersion sometimes, and then I don't really enjoy them that much. Be a gamer, not a fanboy, should be new buzzword. Yeah, exactly. Just game, people. Just game. Nobody cares about your super fast SSD. It's not even that great now. I'm a gamer. If a game is good, whatever system, I will try to play it. Yeah, exactly. I like playing games. I mean, I did buy the Monster Hunter Rise for the Nintendo Switch. I think it doesn't hold up that well when you get into it. It's not the experience. Like the experience is fine. I mean, it's obviously a Monster Hunter game, but it's not. I started playing Monster Hunter on Monster Hunter World, so that complete reduction in visual quality has it. Yeah, dude, it's not good. So I'm gonna wait until it comes out on PC and see what they do to that, and then maybe try playing it again. But as it sits, I'm giving that back to Junior and letting him play it. I am looking forward to the Ascent releasing soon. I can't guarantee I'm gonna beat that game, but I'm gonna definitely play it. I do like those twin stick shooters. I do play them, but I've never really like looked at them as a AAA experience or anything like that. The last one I played was that Darksiders one. Have you guys played that one? That Darksiders one, with gosh dang it, what's his freaking name? They did like the open, like the twin stick shooter thing for it. I like it. I haven't beat it yet. I mean, I play them for a while and then I just kind of lose interest. But if the Ascent releases and it's got like earth shattering freaking visuals and stuff, yeah, dude, I might actually just keep playing it until I get through that. Nah, it's not AAA for sure. Darksiders Genesis, pretty good. Yeah, see, and I didn't even finish Genesis, man. Like I still have it downloaded on my console, but I played it for, like 4 or 5 hours, and then it just went straight to my backlog, man. Something else came out, and I started playing that. I guess, I don't look at those games as like my preferred way to play. So when I do play them, I usually have to be in a mood to play them, and if I'm not in that mood, then I kind of, I don't know. Same with 2D games now, man. Same with 2D side scrollers. I still have not beat Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, but I did get really freaking far into that, and I did play that for multiple days. But then I quit playing it for some odd reason. So I mean, that's just kind of the way it goes with some of my gaming habits. Like I buy a lot of games, guys, and I play a lot of games, and I also don't finish a lot of games because I buy so many games. It's a never-ending cycle for me. I think I'm more addicted to buying games than I am getting through them. And like, not a huge fan of 2D, but the Ori game. Oh yeah, dude. Like I finished the first Ori in the Will, the first Ori. The second one, I have not finished that one yet, but I'm pretty far into that too. I mean, I like them, and I always will have that soft spot for 2D games because I grew up playing 2D games, and that's what I played for, a good chunk of my my gaming. Have you watched? I tried to, Andy. I just could not freaking. I think I started watching it too late at night, and I don't know, dude. I don't really watch a lot of TV anymore. I play video games, I go to work, and then I make YouTube videos, and I go live. That's what my life consists of now. And every now and then I say hi to my wife. No, Yeah, I'm trying to make this YouTube thing grow so that it will bring in, some sort of income, but I've noticed not to try to rush things and I just trying to make good content, but I keep freaking feeling like I'm a one trick pony, man. The only thing I can talk about is PlayStation and Xbox, man. I've seen first two episode good. Oh yeah, that I will give it that. It is pretty dang good animation for that. Like I'm pretty. I do like the way that looked. Um, like I like Leon S. Kennedy and stuff, but I mean Chris Redfield was probably my favorite. You know what I mean? I like Leon, but not as much as Chris. Um, so it's kind of I don't know. I do like it, but I will end up watching. I will end up watching it. How many episodes are there? Usually when I sit down and I binge watch, I just binge watch the whole season. I bought Metro on both Series X and PS5, and it's awesome. Playing Scarlet Nexus on Xbox, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Forza, Mass Effect 3 on Legendary Edition, and tons more games. I'm fine if Xbox takes their time. Yeah, exactly, dude. I got so many freaking games that I don't know, man. Like today, instead of playing any of my other games, I've been playing WRC 9 almost all day. And I mean, like I get in my moods, and like when I can't find something to play, I play my racing games, man. My sim racers. I love those. I think 10 could be 8. Yeah, I'm gonna have to binge watch all those at like one time. Brandon Thimbley. Hey, how's it going, man? How do you feel about crossplay between all gaming, like PC, X? Oh, dude, I love it. If they should make that a standard, man. You shouldn't have to pick a console just because like that's always kind of sucked to me, Brandon. I would much rather, be able to just buy whatever console you want and play crossplay whenever. And I do think that this generation is going to I do kind of think that this generation is going to make that a standard because, the fans are demanding it, and, whoever's not supporting it is going to look like a freaking, like a butt. Always makes me laugh when Sony gamers seem to act like Xbox gamers have nothing to play. Yeah, exactly, dude. Like I said, guys, I made that video, and I'm not kidding about the 2,000 hours of gameplay and playing over 100 games, bro. Like I'm not kidding about that. Like that's serious, dude. I go to work, I play video games, and a couple of months ago, I started the YouTube channel, and we were in lockdown for COVID. I spent a lot of freaking time. I didn't even buy my PlayStation until March, so I had, what was it, like four solid months of just Xbox Series X with, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, an open world game. I play a lot of that. I play a lot of my sim racing games. I play a lot of, a lot of other games like Black Desert Online. Dude, I've got 18 straight days of gameplay on that game. That's like 450 hours that, so when it comes to like playing video games, like that is a pretty big part of my life, man. Like I don't really watch movies anymore. Like I tried to watch Netflix. I did when I sat down and watched the Witcher. I watched all of them. I watched every episode of it. Streamed all the way through that. And that's the only way I can do Netflix is like, on a weekend or when I have like an extra day or two off, then I can sit and stream through those. But I mean, video games have got to be really, really dry for me to do that. So, yeah, I just really don't care much about what Hollywood's got going on these days. The only movies that I do watch, that I go out of my way to watch, are superhero movies and, like video game movies, stuff like that, video game tie-ins. That's kind of the only kind of movies I watch. I did watch The Tomorrow War twice last weekend. That freaking movie was pretty good, man. Yeah, exactly. I do watch a lot of anime. No, see, I don't even watch anime anymore. Like I used to like anime when I was younger, like when I was in my teens and stuff. But as I got older, like I just stopped caring about that visual style. So sim racers are my guilty pleasure. Yeah. I'm excited for Forza Motorsport, Horizon 5, and GT7. I can't imagine being tied to one console anymore. Not that it's bad, but I get to be excited for it. Yeah, exactly, man. Darkest Hero, have you played Settle Corsa Competizione? Sorry, guys, I got to stop the show because I need an answer for this. No, I'm just. Well, if you haven't played Assetto Corsa Competizione or WRC9, I highly recommend you get into those and start. See, with sim racing though, I've broadened my horizon so much that I go from F1 all the way to rally. You know, I mean, rally sport. Well, I've even incorporated bike. I haven't. LOL. Assetto Corsa Competizione. You haven't heard of that? Whoa, dude, you better buy that right now. You got a sim rig? Okay. All right, if you don't got a sim rig, that's kind of tough, especially to play that game. It's pretty hard to play with it. I mean, it's not impossible to play on your Xbox controller, but you have to hold the thumbstick straight up all the time, and you're gonna rock your thumb from side to side with it straight up to get a better turning ratio on that. If you can master that and set your settings, if you pick this game up, I'll show you what settings that you need to be able to, you know, control it with a controller. But I highly recommend getting a cock or a racing sim rig. If you have both consoles, if you have PlayStation 5 and Xbox, it's better off that you buy the PlayStation branded one and then get the drive hub, because you can use all of your old. And you get a drive hub like this, and it will convert the PlayStation. It will convert the PlayStation wheel to an Xbox wheel, so you can use it on both of them. You're going to be about $1,000 into a sim rig, a decent one that's comfortable for you to actually be able to get good at. But trust me, it will take your racing, you know, it'll take your racing experience, bro, from like feeling like you're playing a game to actually feeling like you're driving a real race car, dude. It's that immersive that I highly recommend taking the plunge, dude, and upgrading that. So, I mean, you got both consoles, so I'm pretty sure you can afford to invest a little bit into this. I know it sounds like an overpriced peripheral, but dude, I mean, if you get a mid-tier wheel, you know, like a Thrustmaster is probably the cheapest to entry, and it feels good, dude. It feels great. But do not get the bottom tier. Get like either the T300 or the TX. I recommend the T300 because it is you're going to get a decent, you know, a decent experience, and you'll also be able to spend $100 to get that drive hub, and you'll be able to use it on both of your consoles. Whereas I bought the Xbox, the TX version, which is basically the T300, and now that I can't use it on my PlayStation 5, dude, and it sucks. It's so irritating because I wanted to play Gran Turismo. But yeah, dude, it won't work. I mean, I guess I could still play my Gran Turismo Sport with it if I plug in a PlayStation 4 controller, because you have to have the controller. So if I put in a PlayStation 4 controller, I can still use it on PlayStation 4 racing games only. But yeah, dude, playing Assetto Corsa Competizione with a sim racing with a rig, oh, dude, such an amazing experience. That is the best feeling racing game I've ever played on a console, dude. It feels so good. The sounds are great. Oh man, like you could buy it if you're gonna buy it on the Xbox because you're gonna get 4K at 60 frames a second. The PlayStation 5 is not. The PlayStation 5 doesn't play the last gen version with that high of visual settings. and it will be getting a next gen upgrade soon. Assetto Corsa is definitely like it's made for PC sim racers, but they did port this to the consoles. Not last summer, but the summer before. Was it last summer? Yeah, maybe it has only been out a year. Yeah, I think it came out last August. It is a good experience. So if you need like if you want me to like write down my setup, because Playseat, the cockpit that I got, that cost me like $370 or something on Amazon. I may get a PS5 just for God of War and then give it away to a family member. I can't afford to play premium to play for premium games. Yeah, I mean, or you could just buy your games and trade them in or buy them used or something. I don't know, man. God of War's. See, that's the thing where I'm kind of at a brick wall with God of War too, because they might kill off Kratos, and that would really suck. Because then what is Sony Santa Monica going to make after that is going to captivate me the way that God of War did? I love Greek mythology, dude. I love freaking ancient Rome and Greece and stuff. God of War fit right into that. I like the Vikings, but not as much as, Greek mythology. But still, I mean, where does Sony Santa Monica go after that? You know what I mean? Like, I hear they're making a space game. So, or maybe that's the rumor, they're making a space game because of Bethesda, but whatever, I mean, I have faith in Sony Santa Monica. They do make some amazing games, so we'll have to wait and see. But this is probably the generation that you would want to have both and maintain both consoles all throughout. Just because, like, they did some amazing stuff with the PlayStation 4 Pro. There's no question about that. The PlayStation 5 is more powerful. They are going to do some amazing stuff with the PlayStation 5. But when it comes to everything, dude, it's kind of a one-trick pony, dude. Like, the SSD is pretty much what they're hanging their hat on, and that's basically what they said, man. They went out of their way to make this PlayStation 5 with, I mean, if you notice, all the SSDs that are coming out now are like 7,000 megabytes read speed, and the PlayStation 5 is 5.5. So, yeah, the 5.5 was basically the half step in between the 2.5 and the, or the 3,000, megabyte read speed all the way up to 7. Like, basically the 5.5 was the half step. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to be pretty upset if I got to buy a new SSD if they didn't. East L Savage, Clay Savage. How's it going, man? I know you got to get your clicks, but bro, relax and enjoy both your turning your channel into anti-Sony Pro Xbox. Oh no, I'm not trying to turn my channel into a anti-Sony. I'm not anti-Sony by any means, dude. I love my PlayStation. I'm just saying that with the with the way that the PlayStation is marketing this, and then just the things that I've seen, it has started to seem like we are going to, hey Mr. Glass, it is starting to seem a little more like we're going to run into that wall a little bit faster with the PlayStation 5 and what it can do, especially with third-party games. And I don't want people to be like, I really don't want to kick PlayStation or have other people kick PlayStation, but like I feel like it's gonna happen a lot quicker than a lot of people think. I mean, yeah, I'm not trying to be all pro Xbox, but right now Xbox is doing a lot of the right things, man, that are definitely more exciting as a gamer. Especially if you have both consoles. Like, I'm more excited about the Xbox ecosystem most of the time, but I am excited, well, PlayStation kind of did that to themselves, man. They put out 3 games that might not even, well, 2 of them are definitely not launching this year, and the other one's still up in the air, maybe. Those 3 games were like one of the reasons, like like one of the biggest, like those are the 3 games that are more likely to be system sellers than anything they've put out yet. So, I mean, it's me being honest about my PlayStation and Xbox experience. And right now, technically Xbox hasn't really put out anything, but they are getting to a point where we're going to start getting those games throughout the rest of the year, and a lot of them look like they're pretty decent heavy hitters. But I can't really fault PlayStation for having a lot of stuff, and I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you feel like I'm going Xbox. Xbox One X was more powerful than PS4 Pro for third parties last gen. Yeah, it was, and that's what I'm saying, man. Like, that's why with the Xbox One X, I started buying all my games third party on the Xbox ecosystem and not on the PlayStation anymore, because I wanted that more consistent experience. Yeah, I'm excited for Kenya. I am, like, I do want to play that. I mean, that's one of those things that I'm going to buy and play because I have the PlayStation 5, but would I go out of my way to buy a PlayStation 5 for Kenya? Probably not. You know what I mean? Psychonauts 2, I am definitely going to play that. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to download it on Game Pass. At least I'm being honest. I'm going to check out that Assetto Corsa game. Looks amazing. I won't be able to get a driving setup at the moment, sadly. You know what, Darkest Hero? I do recommend buying it. Like I said, I will show you. I'll show you kind of how to steer. If you have your left thumbstick straight up, like you're pushing up on it, and then you just rotate left to right and get used to steering like that, then you can play it with a controller, but you cannot flick. You can't flick. And you know what? Even learning this technique, when you start playing all the other ones like Gran Turismo and everything else, you'll find that you're even better on those as opposed to like to flicking, like flicking the control left and right. Trust me. It definitely makes that driving experience a whole lot better. Yeah, I'm not trying to I'm not trying to make this a pro Xbox channel. Like, that's not my intention by any means. But yeah, dude, sometimes people, these are things that I wish I would have known a lot sooner, before making that $500 purchase, guys. If you have to choose between a PlayStation 5 and an Xbox Series X right now, like, my money's kind of, my money's kind of more pushing, toward the Xbox at this moment, just because of the value of Game Pass and stuff. But if you can afford a PlayStation 5 and afford to buy those games and not be like put out, yeah, dude, get a PlayStation 5. They're both equally good systems. I think that we are gonna see the limitations of the PlayStation 5 this generation a little bit faster than the Xbox Series X, but hey, man, like, it is what it is, dude. I mean, third-party games are what people play the most on their consoles. So in the end, I suggest, so it doesn't have, oh yeah, it does. RT and R1. Yeah, you steer with, I mean, you gas and brake right here, but like the steering is where you're going to want to go with unpopular fact is that the last God of War was an average game. I only purchased PlayStation for that franchise. I hope it is good. I did like God of War. I thought it was pretty good. I thought it was the best God of War in terms of story-wise that I've ever played, but like the action and combat didn't really start getting good until you got the Blades of Chaos back. I would be excited for Kenya if it wasn't locked to Sony as a timed exclusive for like a year. Dude, Kenya's gonna be fine, man. It looks like one of those games I'll probably be able to beat in like an afternoon, man. Like, it is. It looks good. I noticed this gen, most third parties are either tied. Yeah, well, see, right now, East, most of the games that have come out, because Sony's development kit was out far before Xbox's. A lot of these games are, and Sony's the market leader, so a lot of these games are built on the PlayStation 5 and then just ported to the Xbox. So they're not getting any of the Xbox features because they're just being ported right over. No, not most of the time. You can't really notice 100p difference, but you have to really look at both games, like side by side. Like the one that I checked out just recently was a Plague Tale. It clearly is far more blurry on the PlayStation 5, dude. It looks blurry like right out of the gate, dude. You can tell that the Xbox is running it at a much higher resolution, and that's what really gets the PlayStation. The lower the resolution, the more fuzzy it starts to look around hair and vegetation and stuff like that. Like you'll get like a fuzzier look on it. Yeah, you really can't notice, and most of the time the games are basically the same. But once it starts getting below 1440p, dude, is when it starts to fall apart for me. And that's just me, man. And at the Xbox, if you haven't noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this. You have both. If the colors seem more vivid on the Xbox, I don't think it's 1440p on the Xbox, to tell you the truth, man. I think it's definitely higher. It definitely looks higher because it was 1440p on Xbox One X, and the PlayStation 5 version looks closer to what it looked like on One X. I bought that game day one, and I don't think the Xbox version is running it at 4K for sure, but it looks closer to like 1800p. When you first boot it up, like you could buy, I mean, I think you could probably find a Plague Tale pretty cheap on the Xbox store if you don't have it on Xbox, and you can download the other one on PS Plus right now for free. If you just start a new game, and then right when you start a new game, don't touch anything and let it load in, Amicia will be standing right there kind of by a rock talking to her dad, and he'll be off in the distance a little ways. And if you look at this game and you just look right over to the wall, you'll see this like little alcove made out of brick, and the rock right next to you, and then the trees. Like the rock right next to you on the PlayStation 5 is freaking blurry, dude, and it looks good on the Xbox. The rocks, the bricks over on the thing, over on the little in the little doorway and stuff, like you could see like the individual bricks pretty good on the Xbox, where it just looks really blurry over on the PlayStation 5, and the dad looks far blurrier on the PlayStation 5, and the vegetation right by the feet looks blurrier. So that's why I'm thinking that, I definitely think that the PlayStation 5 version is definitely 1440p, and the Xbox version is probably like 1800p or 1700p or something, but it does look like the Xbox version has a higher resolution, because there's no way that the other one would be that much blurrier if it wasn't a lower resolution. Like I don't see how that would be. I don't see how that would be I don't see how that would make sense if that makes it. I mean, I am going to invest in the equipment to actually do like the pixel counting and everything by myself, so that I can actually see what's going on, because I feel like I've been led astray a lot this generation so far already. I feel like I've been led astray, dude. I feel like nobody's given us a straight answer, and they're propping up one system over the other. And me personally, all I want is the best version of the game on whatever console it is, because I have both consoles. I don't really care about the whole console war. I just want the best version of the game that I can get for my money. And that's not unreasonable. I don't feel like that's an unreasonable thing to want the best version for paying the same price for the game. If me personally, in my personal opinion, I prefer the higher resolution over the 2 or 3 frames. I would take the higher resolution over dropping 1 or 2 frames, because I can buy a VRR TV and solve that problem. I can't solve getting a higher resolution on a system that can't push a higher resolution. So for me, that's an easy win. Like every time when it comes to, like, for me, I would prefer the higher resolution over the fuzzy look. And that's just me. And Xbox does have Dolby Vision, but I don't know if they've released that update yet. I don't know when that update's going to come. One of PlayStation's biggest games back in the day, the original Last of Us, ran at only 720p, but was never called out for it. People always just, and that's the thing, man. Like PlayStation definitely gets a lot of they cut PlayStation a lot of slack. Xbox, I think a lot of it has to do with it being a corporation, so they don't really cut them the slack. And Xbox has proved a lot of people wrong, man. The way I'm leaning this generation is if the third parties are on Game Pass, I'll play them on my Xbox. If the game isn't on Game Pass and have DualSense features unlocked, I'll buy it on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, okay. That definitely makes sense. And my PlayStation 5 DualSense has basically been like hit or miss for me. WRC9, amazing. Like it feels freaking amazing. It does feel pretty decent on the Elite Series 2 controller, but it does feel decidedly better on the PlayStation DualSense. For the most part, any of my bike racing games that I've got on both consoles, dude, I prefer the Xbox controller over that. It's a lot easier to steer and brake and stuff. The triggers on the racing games so far have been really, like, it hasn't worked the way I had envisioned it, and I don't like the way it feels. It just makes my fingers too tired, so I don't even use that feature on there. I turn them off. Yeah, dude, the haptic feedback has been basically hit or miss, though, in my opinion, when it comes to PlayStation games. But if the developer supports it good, when it works, it freaking works pretty good. Like, it feels good. Like, I like it. Like, I am genuinely happy about the haptic feedback. The triggers, like, dude, on some games they feel fine. On some games it's more of an annoyance than anything else. So, I mean, this is by far the best PlayStation controller ever made. Easy. Only for non-shooters, though. I need my Xbox for shooters, but single players and sports. Okay, yeah. And that's basically where I'm at, dude. Like racing and shooters have to be on the Xbox. The Xbox controller is designed better for those, where the PlayStation is more, in my opinion, better for stuff like Souls games and stuff. I like playing Souls games on the PlayStation controller far more. And like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, because my muscle memory is like that. So, I mean, for the most part, like, I'm probably, like, I can't deny that I'm going to end up buying 2 copies of every game, simply because I have this channel now. So I want to be able to bring you guys honest opinions without, like, I don't want to be biased towards Xbox. I don't want to be biased towards PlayStation. I don't have a dog in this pony, dude. I don't have any stock in either one of these companies. They don't send me free merchandise. They don't pay me to freaking talk about them. Me personally, as a consumer, I just like Xbox's PR. I like their marketing better this generation. That's basically it. When it comes down to it. Don't have a dog in this show. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, but honestly, guys, I really do feel that the whole thing of the PlayStation 5, I kind of just feel like it's more of an upgraded PS4 Pro with that fast SSD, guys. Like, I don't know. I mean, Ratchet and Clank looks good, and I'm optimistic and excited to see what they do with the future games. But at the end of the day, with a lot of stuff coming out, sub 1800p, like 1440p at 60 frames a second. I mean, even if PS5 is only 1440p at 60 frames a second, that's not bad. That's definitely because I mean that 1440p at 60 frames a second at least is going to be high fidelity. I have both. I only buy PS5 for exclusives. Yeah, that's definitely where I'm pretty close to buying, mostly everything, first party on Sony. If the games in Game Pass you can't get away with only buying the PS5 versions for the comparisons. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I mean, I do. I mean, I guess I can do that. Just buy the PS5 version and download the other one on Game Pass. But yeah, I mean, I do pay for my Game Pass thing. How do you feel about the quality of PlayStation first party versus Xbox first party quality wise? I think Xbox exclusives are fun, but when it comes to quality, I give, I'm basically in the same camp as you, East, for the most part. I definitely do feel like Sony has more has like the upper hand when it comes to like visuals and stuff, because they also have a lot of talent in in ah, in the Hollywood in film creation, and those guys are pretty good with animations and stuff like that, and they definitely have, they definitely have more pull that way because they own movie studios and stuff as well, so they do utilize that talent for their games. So when it comes to visual experiences, quality visual experiences, yes, PlayStation is definitely like a top contender. When it comes to like games and gameplay, I'm not gonna lie, dude. I usually get pretty. I usually get more gameplay out of my Xbox first party games most of the time than I do out of the PlayStation ones. And PlayStation ones, it's just mostly I don't replay them more than once. But I mean, there was a few last generation that I did, like God of War. I played a couple times. I'm almost complete with my second playthrough of The Last of Us 2. I could not finish Days Gone. I hope someday I can go back and finish that. Ghost of Tsushima, I am still exploring that game. So yeah, Hellblade 2 might give God of War Ragnarok a run for its money. I don't know if I would. I don't know. Like I do. I want to believe that, but then I don't believe that, just because of the fact that we're taking Ninja Theory up against Sony Santa Monica, bro. And I think Ninja Theory's great. Like they did a good job on that Devil May Cry. Senua's Sacrifice looks pretty dang good. I like that game, but I mean, it's hard to compare them to freaking Sony Santa Monica, bro. It really is. Yeah. I think Sony's biggest quality is probably the visual experience. When it comes Back up. Everybody still here? That really sucked, man. Let's see if it comes back up. Back up. Yep. All right. We're here. All right, guys. So what was I saying? You'd think $400 freaking a month would get me a freaking solid. Okay, where were we at? Xbox have less exclusives. I do agree. Oh man, you guys are way down there. Okay, if the game's in Game Pass, you can get away with only buying PS5. Yeah. All right, I already answered that question. Xbox have less exclusives. Do I agree? I think they did have less exclusives, but they're definitely going to be getting a lot more fairly quickly. I think both Xbox and PlayStation make quality games. The main difference is Xbox quality are across. Yep. Xbox don't have Ghost of Tsushima. No, they don't. Focused. Sony had better quality games. I'm not sure if that will continue. Beth still is bigger than people want to admit. Yeah, dude, Bethesda is a freaking huge gain for Xbox for sure. Played Hitman 3 on both consoles. I enjoyed more on Xbox. Yeah, I played my playthrough was on the Xbox. I did not pick that up on the PlayStation. I only saw that because Ninja Theory will be using UE5. Yeah, UE5 is good, but I mean, from what I've gathered, dude, the UE5 running games with those quality visuals are going to be like at 1080p, dude. Ninja Theory made that game at launch. Where is it? Just looked up the Matrix. The first Hellblade gave it a run for its money. The game is nearly photorealistic. Smart purchase by Microsoft. Well, I'm back up and running. You guys can see me, right? So when do you expect cloud streaming app on Xbox? I just stream NASCAR Heat 5 on PlayStation 5, decent quality. I don't know. You stream NASCAR Heat 5 on PlayStation 5 through what? PlayStation Now? I'm curious. Oh, you want to know when the xCloud app is coming to Xbox? Well, okay, guys, let me know if you guys can see me. If we're back up and running. That freaking Bethesda and Obsidian is part of why I got both. Last gen, I only had Xbox, but the exclusives were lacking. It's looking better this time around, though. This generation is looking like a PS3 360. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. Yeah, I definitely feel that's the case, too. I definitely feel like Xbox is going to be... I definitely feel like Xbox Series is going to be more like the 360 generation for sure, especially with games like Fable coming back, Avowed. I mean, dude... The lineup that they've got in the works is far better than anything we've seen from Xbox last generation for sure. I just streamed NASCAR Heat 5 on PlayStation Now on my Pro, decent quality. Maybe I'll give it another shot. That PlayStation Now. I would say it's been about a year since I canceled my subscription, and I had it for a year, and I just wasn't happy with it overall. And that was with gigabit internet, mind you. The same gigabit internet that just freaking cut out my stream because it's freaking Xfinity, dude. I'm so irritated with this. Like I can't understand how paying $400 a month can't guarantee me a solid stream, like 100% of the time. That really sucks, dude. They charge me a freaking premium for this stuff, man, but then, I mean, yeah, it's kind of irritating. I mean, a lot of that. So isn't NASCAR NASCAR Heat 5, oh, you're using a 7-day free trial? Well, of course, they bring out the big guns for the 7-day free trial, Andy. As soon as that goes away, it's all back to 720p, dude. No, I'm just joking. You're playing that PlayStation on your monitor, though, right? On your 1440p monitor? Because everything I streamed on it on my 4K TV just did not hold up that well. So I was like, ooh, boy. Like I tried playing wet on it, and oh my gosh, dude. LOL, yes. Yeah. After that 7 days is up, man, it's going to go back to 720p. So you better watch it, man. $10 is a lot of money. And no, I'm just joking. That's another good thing I like about the Game Pass thing is because you download that. You download those games and then you play them. Like, you better have freaking unlimited internet, though. PS Now needs a total rework. My thing is I don't think Sony is interested in services route, mainly because it takes a while to turn a profit. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think PlayStation could turn a profit pretty quickly because if you think about it, like say God of War, what did God of War sell? So I don't know, 20 million copies or something. If there's 110 million PlayStation 4s out there and they only sold 20 million copies of that, yeah, that makes that would. I mean, well, you got to take into consideration a lot of people bought that on disc and probably traded it in, so a lot more people played it. But if all 110 million PlayStation 4s had access to God of War, I think a lot more people would have played that. And if Sony could have, I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, it is available now with the PS Plus through the PlayStation 5. But if you have a PlayStation 4, you don't get access to those 20 greatest games or whatever. You got PS Plus, right, Andy? On that PS4 Pro, you want to see if you got access to those 20 games that they give access to on the PlayStation 5, like Persona 5, God of War, Detroit Become Human. That was a good game. I like that Detroit Become Human. That was pretty good. I like that. I thought it was a good game. I liked playing that. It was definitely a good story game. That's right. Those guys are who made that? Because I thought they were Sony first party, but they're not. They're not a Sony first party. They just make exclusive games for Sony. And then they make like Heavy Rain. They made Heavy Rain, and they also made that other one, Beyond. Game Pass can sell at a loss because Microsoft has the money to take a hit financially. If Sony had put their high budget exclusives on PS Now, it could pause. You know, dude, if they put them on there 3 months after release, I think that they could compete with Game Pass, bro. 3 months. There's a lot of people out there that want to play that game 3 months early. There's people out there that pay $100 for games to play it 3 days early. I don't think they would have a problem putting that game on the PS Now 3 months after it launched and still being able to recoup their money, dude. Easy. Here's the interesting thing. I have HDR on my monitor. Xbox Series S doesn't see it. Gives me 1440p. 120 Pro gives me HDR10 super sampling at 1080p 60. Wow, your Xbox, really? The Xbox doesn't see that at 120? You might have to change the setting on your Xbox, Andy. You might have to do the did you try all the different HDR settings? Had PS Plus for 2 years and didn't touch it. Canceled it late last year. Yeah, I mean, if you're not downloading, I mean, so far right now, the PS Plus games have actually been pretty decent, dude. I just got that version of A Plague Tale for free, man. I do think Sony will have to go services by the end of this generation. If not, they will be left behind. Yeah. I definitely think that I think that PlayStation could be pretty competitive if they put their first party games on PS Plus or PS Now 3 months after launch. 6 months would be pushing it, but still doable. Like 6 months is about the time when people kind of forget about games and move on. 6 months is a lot of time of new releases too. So I think 3 months would be satisfactory, but 6 months, I don't know, man. Yeah. 6 months is a pretty hard sell. And plus, I could just raise it to $15 a month anyways, dude. PS Now, yeah, they could do it. Because if only 20 million people play your game, dude, if 20 million people play your game and you got 110 million consoles out there and the other, what is it? That other 90 million freaking players don't try it. Yes, try to calibrate HDR on Series S, not supported. Interesting. That's way interesting, dude. Definitely makes me reconsider possibly getting a monitor, because I can't live without my HDR. I'm sorry. Like, I can't do it. I won't even buy games. Well, on Xbox, it's okay because they get auto HDR, but on PlayStation, I won't buy games that don't have HDR support, man. Well, I guess that's a lie, because WRC9 does not support HDR, and I have that on both consoles. It's still insane to think. You know what's even more insane, East, is you could cancel your Game Pass subscription and wait 6 months for all them games to come out, then buy it for 1 month and complete all of that stuff in 1 month, and then go back to not having it, dude. I mean, if you want to be completely honest, you can play all those games and beat them all for a low price of $15.99 this November, or $14.99. So, yeah, either way you look at it, dude, Xbox Game Pass is an amazing value and an amazing value, whether you keep subscribed to it every month or not. I mean, Xbox is definitely delivering a value, but what we really need to find out is at what cost. What cost is this value going to cost us in the future? I mean, because no company is that altruistic, bro. They're getting data or something from us that definitely makes it worth that investment, for other stuff that they've got in the works for Microsoft. Got to understand, Microsoft's a defense contractor for the United States government. So yeah, dude, what are they getting in return for that amazing value? Saying monitor support 4K 25 hertz, not 4K 60 in HDR, but Pro gives me HDR 10. I think there's a setting on the Xboxes too that makes it so you can try doing the 50 hertz. Try setting it to 50 hertz, man. Because I know there was a setting for 50 hertz, and you're in the UK, so 50 hertz is more of a UK thing, like a PAL or whatever, if I remember correctly. You got that 50 hertz box check on your in the thing, and then just turn everything on and see if it'll work. Whew. Yeah, that might be true too, but yeah, turn on that 50 hertz and then turn everything on. See if it'll work, because it should. Maybe check the setting, maybe check the HDMI port that you got that it's set on too, and see if there's a setting on there that you need to change. Because some of those, is there 2 HDMI ports on your monitor? Because I know on TVs, like they'll usually have like the really, really high one, and then like some of the other ones won't be as high. So maybe swap them around and see if that other HDMI port that's giving you HDR10 on the PlayStation will work on the Xbox as well. That's if you have 2 of them. I mean, if you're I don't know exactly. I think Microsoft's getting a lot of information. They're getting a lot of other stuff as well, with our gaming habits and, you know, what we do. So, yeah, I mean, if you haven't noticed all the advertising, you know, on the Xbox and on the PlayStation, that's probably why I buy a lot more games, dude, because of those online stores always being so prominent. Right there right when you sign in, there's always advertising right there on the home screen, dude, on that and the PlayStation. So, I'm pretty sure that advertising has sold me a lot of games, because there's a lot of stuff on there that I think last generation was the first generation that I went more out of my comfort zone of the games that I usually would play, and started trying a lot more genres, a lot more stuff that I would have never considered playing. And a lot of that has to do with the stores, man. A lot of it has to do with, you know, just looking for something else to play and seeing a lot of stuff. And, you know, I'm not going to lie, guys. I bought a lot of games just because they were on the Xbox One X enhanced list. So I did buy a lot more games because of that. And I'm not going to lie, I still do, man, because I'm always looking for the next best thing, the next best visual experience, the next best, you know, the next best game. And I've definitely found a lot more experiences that I like. And I've also played a lot more of the same type of game that, you know, has like really been starting to get oversaturated in the market lately. So, I prefer digital. I don't buy physical anymore. I made a video about that the other day too, you know. Physical, you know, I mean, if something was to like a natural disaster or something, you know, or somebody breaks in and steals all your stuff, dude, and they take all your freaking games, like then you're out all those games, man. But if you buy them all digital, somebody breaks in and takes your Xbox, you just buy another Xbox and you still got all your games, dude. It's simple as that, man. I mean, you can take your external drives with you or whatever. You know, it's a lot easier to, you know, save a system as opposed to like saving all your games. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more reasons to go digital than there is to keep collecting like the physical games. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. The pros outweigh the cons by a lot. So when it comes to buying games, I buy mostly digital now. I haven't bought a disc game. The only ones I buy physical are the Nintendo Switch. I buy more Switch games than anything physical now. What about you? Are you still doing physical or digital? These new consoles, man, gosh, they've just made it so much easier. And there's so much, like on the 360, I don't remember ever, or the PlayStation 4, I don't remember any of these advertisings all the time, dude. I agree. PlayStation takes too long. It takes a long time to put their first parties on sale. Yeah, exactly. This generation, man, they are not doing the sales like they used to, where their first party games would drop. I think that's good though, because if they keep the content, return on balance update feels much better now. Yeah, a little. Yeah. Yeah, first party digital sell. See, Xbox, man, at least they're still launching games at $60 though, dude. So I don't know. Like, I'm not completely against PlayStation charging, you know, $70 for their games and keeping their prices higher longer. I'm okay with that. If I buy my games day one full price, yeah, dude, I don't have a problem with them keeping their games full price. I don't think they should discount them as early and as often as they do, because that leaves a freaking sour taste in my mouth every time I buy an Ubisoft game at $100 or $120, and then like 2 months later it's $30. I'm like, come on, Ubi. So I'm not opposed to Ubisoft going free to play, to tell you the truth. I don't buy a lot of their microtransactions anyway. So if they want to go that route, I guess I'll be playing my Ubisoft games for free from now on. everything that Xbox was trying to sell us at the beginning of Xbox One, we're like gleefully welcoming into our doors now without no questions asked, guys. The DRM, the always online, the freaking, yeah, dude. Tell me one Xbox Series X that doesn't need to be online like all the time, bro. I mean, like most of the games coming out these days are because they all wanted to go live service. And Microsoft was just trying to get out front, you know, and say, yeah, man, this is the way it's going to be. And everybody like freaked out on them. And here's PlayStation just coming up the back, you know, doing everything that the Xbox said they were going to do. And Microsoft or PlayStation was making fun of them last generation. This generation, I don't know, man. We are the easily, I think humans are pretty easily like, it's like squirrel. We have a lot of squirrel moments, don't we? I mean, I personally don't mind, dude, because I mean, yeah, like what does it really matter, dude? You're gonna have to have internet to play, to be able to stream stuff, you know, from the cloud and everything else. You have to have internet to download updates. You're trying to tell me you're going to go buy freaking Cyberpunk 2077 hard disk and then get home and like it being not playable at all until it gets updated. And then, you know, I mean, because they're never going to put that on a disc. Insomniac 244. Most people buy a game once a month or once every 3 months. Not everyone has money like that. Xbox, $15 a month every month is crazy. Subscriptions are a cash cow. It's guaranteed. Yeah, that's very true, man. Like that $15 a month that everybody can definitely afford to pay. I mean, like I said on a couple videos before, you know, like Xbox is the cheapest way to get into next gen gaming. You know, you could literally mow one lawn a month and buy an Xbox Series X at $35.99 with 2 years of Game Pass. And then when you're done with the 2 years of paying off the console, then it's only $15 a month, man. That's like you mow one lawn every 2 months and pay for 2 months of Xbox Game Pass, man. Like I'm telling you, dude, PlayStation 5, you got to have the money up front or you got to put it on a credit card or you got to do something. It's definitely cheaper. 23 million subscribers with 15. That's a lot. That's a lot of money. That is stupid money for them. And I'll tell you what, guys, I mean, maybe every other month I download a game on Game Pass and play it. Sometimes it just depends, man. I mean, I know that me personally, I used to manage a game store, so I know just how good of a value Game Pass is, dude. I mean, I'm surprised GameStop's doors are still open, to tell you the truth, man. If Xbox wins this generation, it will be because they have produced much better first party games and Game Pass. If that could be, you know, I mean, if PlayStation like fails a lot at these $70 first party games, if they don't capture the imaginations of a lot of people and continue to be the quality that everybody's growing to love about PlayStation, if they start slacking and just anything, it could definitely be or if Xbox first party games start matching the quality of Sony, dude, that's Sony will be forced to choose a different route. Oh man, water tastes so good in the summer in the desert. Oh man, yeah, I like the fact that the Xbox the Game Pass is a thing. Jago6, welcome to the show. You too, Insomniac 244. I haven't seen you guys before. Hello, fellow gamers. Appreciate you guys coming. I really do remember a lot of people that come to the show, man. Well, I mean, I guess because there's 30 people, it's easier to remember, especially when they say something. Not all the people talk all the time, but yeah, I really appreciate you guys coming, man. I hope you guys can subscribe. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. I kind of see where you're going there, but it is, you know, there is two. Yes, I done everything. Only thing I can think is Series X next gen console and HDR on monitor not very good under HDR 400. Okay, so you've switched everything and you're still not getting HDR at all? Oh, wait, your monitor only does HDR 400, right? Okay. Games like God of War and Horizon, I feel will be worth 70. Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page, East. Completely. Ratchet and Clank, God. No. I love Sony, but I won't. But yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm at with PlayStation right now. Is I'm going to be more selective in what I buy. Well, I'm probably going to end up buying the first party exclusives regardless, especially for the channel. But when it comes to everybody else, I do recommend, you pay a lot more attention, because $70, honestly, dude, $70, if that's the only game you get to play for the next 3 months, Ratchet and Clank is not worth that. Returnal is definitely not worth that. So, and that's how I'm going to view them, I mean, I'll start with 3 months. If that's all you could play for 3 months, that's how I usually try to base my recommendations when I do review games. Don't understand with this idea that Xbox takes a loss on Game Pass to subscribe. Yeah, I don't really think they're taking too much of a loss on it. I think that most people are thinking it's a loss because of the money they pay developers to put games on Game Pass. But Microsoft owns the platform. All they got to say is, hey guys, instead of our 30% cut, we'll take 12% cut, and you guys just put it on the Game Pass. You know what I mean? Like, they might not even have to really be like spending money out of pocket. They just giving them a discount on the fee that they pay every time they sell a game. You know what I mean? Yep, digital is the best way to go. They don't lose. People think it's a loss, but it's all a huge win for them. Yeah, dude, definitely. They don't have to issue a license for that game. That's definitely a win for them. Every time you download one of those games, you're not getting a license for it. You're just getting to play it. Jago, you don't have to buy them around Black Friday. They usually go on sale for half price on the stores too, man. That's when I got my Series X. That's how I got, or when I got my Xbox One X, that's how I bought like Assassin's Creed Origins and Wolfenstein and all the games that were out that year for half price. They usually go on sale on the Xbox and PlayStation store around the same time too. I don't know about PlayStation going forward this year, but I know the Xbox still did that last year. Right now, Game Pass is a loss because they have to cut huge checks to their newly acquired studios and third parties day ones. Haven't y'all heard? It's out of the red now. Game Pass is officially making money and profit now. Yeah, dude, it's not going to take long for that to happen, even if they haven't. It definitely, my Xbox Game Pass, dude, is going to be a powerhouse, dude. I think there's a lot of developers out there that put the games out there, once they dry up too, like once they stop selling, they put them on there because, yeah, dude, just having that option to try a game that you normally wouldn't buy without having to feel like, oh my gosh, that definitely helps. Oh, but Battlefield sells. Black Friday sales games are very cheap. Yeah, there's a lot of I have no desire to buy hard copies anymore, man. I don't. I mean, if you think about it, you don't never have to worry about your disk drive going out if you don't put hard copies in there, man. You know what I mean? LOL, don't pull too hard. The smoke might start coming out of your ears. Yeah, right, dude. I've tried and I still cannot get that trick down, man. So I don't think it's possible. I think that's just a myth. Oh boy. Yeah, I don't know, man. I've been playing games for a pretty long time now in my life, and I'm pretty happy with the way things are feeling now gaming. with the way things are with the way things are gaming, I definitely feel like this is the best generation ever in console gaming. And I feel like we're actually, yeah, I do. I do. I played Outriders. I don't play Outriders the way a lot of people play Outriders. I played it for the story. I just don't have the time to run around and do the looter shooters, man. I have so many games that I like to play, and keeping on to one game. I mean, like the Division 2, every time they crank out new content, I go back and I play through it, and then I move on. I do think that after seeing the visual direction of Starfield, I do think it's going to hold up. Honestly, to tell you the truth, I was a little worried at first, but yeah, dude, I have confidence that the Starfield's gonna. I'm not saying the Starfield's gonna launch in a perfect condition without bugs and stuff, but I do think that the overall experience is going to be good. Like I do think that it is going to be a game that you can play and you're going to get hundreds of hours out of it. I do think that, like Skyrim in space. Yeah, I like the more grounded visual aesthetic to it, and the fact that it's more like like more realistic and not like completely out of the, I like the way it looks. I do think it's going to freaking hold up. I do. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they're going to make. I think they're going to support it for a while as well. There's not a person on this planet who likes video games who wouldn't love being able to download and play so many games for so cheap. The Sony cult are full of it when they trash it. Yeah, man, those guys that are they have to tell themselves that so that they can sleep at night, but they know deep down inside that their argument's not justified. I mean, anybody that's has Game Pass or played Game Pass, there might be a few people that are like, oh yeah, like me personally, I could have easily fell either way because I buy so many games, that I have so many games that are already on Game Pass, that I could have been like, nah, I don't need Game Pass, whatever, the heck with Game Pass. A lot of Game of the Year contenders next year. Yeah, I think so. I think Starfield. I think with Starfield coming out in November, it's not going to be one of those games. They're going to definitely give it to probably a God of War or something, dude. Or Elden. Well, I could see Elden Ring possibly winning. I mean, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice did beat a Sony game, if I remember correctly. It's the problem with someone's Xbox and TV. Oh, a monitor and the HDR support on it. I don't think, yeah, dude. It depends on when Ragnarok and Starfield launch, though, too. If Ragnarok launches early in the year, well, I mean, I think Starfield's launching too late to actually get in the running, though. I pre-ordered 2042 XS for 10% off and went half on with my homie because game share. Yeah. Yeah, have you guys noticed? That's another thing, dude. I don't know if anybody's noticed this, but can you game share on the PlayStation 5? There's no setting in there to set it as your main console. I know that my PlayStation account, that I can share it with, two PlayStation 4 Pros. But I don't know if it works. And that does not affect my PlayStation 4 account at all. But I don't know if you can game share on PlayStation 5, dude. I'm gonna have to dig deeper into this, because there's no way to set this as my home console. And well, I mean, I guess it is set as my home console because of my phone or whatever, but like I don't think that I could go to like my friend's house and set their PlayStation 5 as my main account and then just log back in on mine. It was like weird when you set it up. It sets it up through your phone and everything. I will get Samsung Odyssey G7 end of month, 32-inch curved monitor, HDR. Yeah. I think 300 or 600 is like the minimum score for HDR, though, too. The minimum. There's different levels of it. Game Pass has helped me a lot. I have kids, so I don't have to buy all those. Yeah, exactly. Could you imagine having to buy? Well, I don't know. I guess if you have more than one X or more than two Xboxes, though, it's still kind of. So basically, is what I did is I normally just game share with my daughter, but Junior has an Xbox. He doesn't play his Xbox that much, so I just buy his games for him and he plays them because, you know, I mean, the games that he wants to play online, they're free to play now, so he doesn't really have to have games with gold, so that saves me some money. Oh, I'm kind of torn on getting Battlefield 2042. I'm going to buy it. I'm going to buy it, but I'm exactly like you, dude. The campaign, not a campaign with, not a paying with Battlefield games, but without a campaign and charging $70, I feel like it's too much for less well, you know, I mean, one could say, remember back when they used to charge us $140 for those damn games? And now we're only having to pay $70? Not that bad. So I don't know. Yeah, I kind of look at it that way too. The Battlefield one was great. Battlefield 5, you know, was questionable, but this new Battlefield I think is going to be all right. The Battlefield's the only I don't like playing Call of Duty online anymore. Battlefield is more my style for online play. So I'm going to pick it up on day one and play it. So if you buy it on Xbox, at least you can get, and you have gold, you can get a discount on it right now. It's not even the full $70. It's $2 more than, it's like $62.99 or something. Battlefield is like the only game I play online, and I love the series. I do wish there was a single player campaign, but I got to buy that game. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at, dude. I wish there was a single player campaign, but they just, I don't know, man. It does kind of suck that they want us to pay $70 without a campaign. And, you know, EA has been definitely trying to go this whole, I just want Ubi to give me a damn Splinter Cell. It ain't going to happen, dude. Ain't gonna happen. It don't make them a money, which really sucks because I'm so sick and tired of these companies like getting rid of the stuff we like to push out this shit that, you know. Yeah, dude, I want like a tactical game, and I really hope that Kojima Xbox game is a tactical game. I really hope that he's, well, I don't know, man. I'll be pretty happy next. When is it? In September when I get that Death Stranding game again. Like, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. I'm so happy about Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima getting PlayStation 5 dedicated upgrades. I know I bitched a lot about it, but I'm genuinely very happy. Even I'd be pissed if I pay full price, then it hits EA Play. It's going to hit EA Play a few months later, guys. Anything EA is going to hit EA Play within 6 months. End of subject. If you do not want to pay full price for that game and just want to wait the 6 months for it to go to EA Play, that is your best bet. Just know that if you buy an EA game, it will go to EA Play within 6 months. That's been the framework. 3 to 6 months has been where they're going with that. So yeah, I would, I mean, yeah, you get to pay full price to test the game for 6 months before they give it away free. Okay. Even if they would remake the original Splinter Cell games with ray tracing. Oh yeah, dude. If they would remake those Splinter Cell games, do the first three games. Yeah, dude, I would definitely buy those. I would even pay them their $60 per title if they redid those with today's visuals and added a little bit of content and gave it. Yeah, dude, I would definitely buy those again. I don't think Battlefield will go to Game Pass until a year or so after launch. It's usually their time frame is about 6 months. I think the $70 price tag on Battlefield is fine since the time spent in multiplayer will be. Oh yeah, dude, I'm right there with you mostly on that, Kevin, because I do feel like I'm going to get more than my money's worth out of Battlefield. So I'm not as I don't have as much animosity toward Battlefield as I do say say other games that come out and they launch and they're freaking broken and stuff, man. As long as these games aren't broken when they launch at $70, like I'm not that, it's not that big a deal. But if they come out at $70 and then 2 months later they're freaking $20, like that makes me madder. That's what I get madder about, is when they come out broken, they get fixed, and then they go on sale for half price. That's where I get more upset about paying for them. But I mean, yeah, dude, as long as I get my gameplay out of them, I don't really care too much. So I was thinking about getting this OLED Switch like right when it launches, but I might kind of hold back on it until they launch some stuff that I actually want to play again. Because $350 for that new Switch with the OLED, I don't know, man. They still haven't told us that they've actually fixed the Joy. Well, I don't really care about the Joy-Con drift now because I got a Pro controller, so that doesn't really matter to me anymore. But I want them to confirm or not confirm that LAN port is going to be used for streaming so that we can stream better visuals while we're docked. If they can confirm that the games will launch and be able to stream better visuals, I'll be happy and I'll buy it. Did you play Death Stranding? Yes, I did. I played it on the PS4 Pro. Most people call it a walking simulator, but after watching gameplay and reviews, I feel like I might like it. You probably would like it, dude. It starts off slow. Okay, so this is the biggest thing about it, East. It starts off slow, and you walk around a lot, like you're delivering freaking packages. You are essentially an Amazon delivery guy. But once you start getting into the thing and the delivering actually becomes pretty cool, dude. Like it's not bad. You connect, you connect all these cities and it makes it easier. You start upgrading your equipment. There is combat. There's people that try to rob you. There's people that try to, ambush you and stuff. There's a whole, like it gets good. It gets to the point where you feel like you're playing a Metal Gear Solid game toward the end of the game. And like and it feels kind of, it feels creepy. Like it's a good experience, man. A lot of people like kicked it just because of the whole feeling like a walking simulator, but dude, it's got an amazing story to it. Like it's really good. Yeah, that's where I'm at too, East. Like I love a lot of games that people think are boring, and I hate a lot of mainstream stuff, dude. A lot of mainstream stuff just really irritates me. I don't even play Assassin's Creed games the way people want to play Assassin's Creed games, dude. I get more enjoyment out of just exploring those large maps than I do with a lot of the gameplay in them nowadays. Like I'll buy Ubisoft open world games just to explore their freaking worlds for the most part. I'll go through and I'll find all the viewpoints, and then when I'm ready to do the story, I just knock it out really quick, and yeah, I just have fun and explore those worlds, man. And Death Stranding is no different. It's one highly crafted video. Heard HDR 400. Yeah, HDR 400 is barely HDR. 600 nits. HDR 400 is what that means, is 400 nits. And SDR is like 300 nits, dude. So you're getting 100 nits more of a little bit brighter. The contrast ratio on 400 is not that great. So 600 is about the minimum that you would, 600 to 800 is where OLED is. So, but other TVs with like full array local dimming and stuff can get up higher, up to like 1300 nits, stuff like that. So yeah, when you get your new one with the 600 nits, I think you'll be I think you'll be a lot better off. You'll get, and make sure it's got a wide color gamut, because the wider the color gamut, the better the HDR. You know what I mean? The better the colors are going to look and everything. Knowing Nintendo's past it and graphic fidelity, do they even have the technology or even want to be streaming at a higher resolution? Yeah, they stream. There's already a few games that you have to stream to your Nintendo Switch, like Resident Evil and like Control and stuff like that. So being able to stream higher resolution through that port while playing the game natively, it's feasible, it's doable. It's what Microsoft is doing with Flight Sim. So I feel like it's possible. And I don't see them going out of their way to add an LAN dock to that just for, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Like, it would be dumb if they do not utilize that for that point for streaming higher resolutions, man. I love Assassin's Creed, but I got used to beating games 100%. The last few Creed games just feel like full-time jobs to complete. Yeah, I don't even try to complete all the stuff in there, man. That's way too much. You know what, dude? I've never been a completionist when I come to my games. I enjoy them the way I want to enjoy them, man. If beating games to their fullest is your thing, it is Frogboy X1. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, so after I fixed my Xbox controller, that button stopped working again, so I had to resolder the joints, and it's working again now. But gosh, dude, if I have to resolder this thing every time, I'm gonna be pretty upset. I thought, man, they sold me freaking faulty buttons, but then I resoldered it, and now it's working again. So yeah, that was pretty fun. But I've been playing a lot of games that have been making me use that left bumper button lately. Played Chivalry 2, that has a lot. You use a lot in that. Scarlet Nexus, you use it a lot in that. And like my racing games, like WRC, when I'm playing that, I have to hit that left bumper button to use my windshield wipers. So I've been using that button a lot more frequently this last this last month or so. So I can kind of see why it started going out. Oh, and Watch Dogs Legion, because you have to hit the L1 button a lot for that as well. Oh, man. And yeah. So does everybody kind of agree that the PlayStation 5 might be a one-trick pony with that SSD? I don't know, man. I don't see this geometry engine being anything more special than what's already out. Like hey, game, what's up, man? Good to see you been lurking. Oh, where have I been lurking at? Been sitting here for the last 2 hours and 9 minutes. No, where the heck you been, man? And I posted a video today. I don't know. I've been trying to play. I was trying to play a lot of games today, so I don't know. I just kind of got a little bored, a few hours ago, and decided, man, I told everybody I was going to do a stream, so I need to get on there and do a stream. I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow. I got some work I got to go do tomorrow, so probably might just post a video early in the day, and then I don't know. Leave new Switch alone, not worth the upgrade. That's kind of what I'm feeling, man. Well, I mean, for me, it's kind of worth the upgrade because I do need an extra Switch, and they got a newer model coming out, so I'm probably just going to pick it up. But no, I've been lurking. Lurking means just watching and not. Oh, I see. Well, I appreciate you watching. Sorry about the stream cut earlier. The SSD was just overhyped. Basically upgraded the PS4 Pro, but did not add additional. Yeah, that's exactly kind of where I'm feeling with the PlayStation 5 guys. Is they definitely upgraded what they already had and then added new features to it to make the graphics, a little bit better. But I kind of feeling like it is just an upgraded PlayStation. I listened to the Mark Cerny SSD presentation. I'm not sure if it's a one-trick pony. After the launch of Ratchet, Insomniac said they were just scratching the surface of the PS5 abilities, so we'll see. Yeah, dude, if they're saying that they were just scratching the surface of the abilities of the PlayStation 5, like why does that game struggle then? To hit like a why can't that game hit 120 frames a second? You know what I mean? Like why can't it hit a 4K 60 with ray tracing, or at least 1800p with ray tracing? I just don't know, dude. Insomniac is one of those good developers. Either Ratchet and Clank was developed and designed for the PlayStation 4 Pro and upgraded to the PlayStation 5, or they insisted on just using the I don't know, dude. Sony told us that the PlayStation 3 was going to be an amazing console. That didn't pan out. It was good, but it didn't pan out the way they said. PlayStation 4 was the first one they didn't overpromise on a bunch of stuff, but with the PlayStation 4 Pro, that's where things started going back to like the PlayStation 3 marketing crap, where they overpromise and underdeliver. Well, that PlayStation first party studios didn't underdeliver. They definitely used that PlayStation 4 Pro, pretty much to its max. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I've been a Sony guy for so long that it's just like, I don't know if I want to keep believing this stuff and parroting this stuff, and going like, oh yeah, PlayStation 5 is going to be like super great. And then it turned out to be like, like I don't want it to disappoint me. I really don't. Yes, one trick pony indeed. I said many times that magical SSD is just like the Sega Proclaim. Yeah. I think the SSD is good. I think that, I don't know, man. If Insomniac's really saying that they're just scratching the surface, what the hell were they doing, man? Why didn't they use any more power of that? Why isn't, if it's just scratching the surface, why didn't they use the rest of that? Why didn't they use the rest of the iceberg? I mean, I thought that's what Sony said they were going to deliver, was everything. Well, if you play Miles Morales on PS4, then switch to the PS5 version, you will see a major difference. On PS5, no load screen, better visuals, more frames. Yeah, I completely agree. I played the original Spider-Man, and the new upgraded version to that is amazing, dude. Like I get what you're saying there, but I mean, if neither of these games are scratching the surface of the PlayStation 5 power, why aren't they? Like, why didn't they use more power? Why didn't we get something better? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get how they can come out and say, well, yeah, we would have delivered a good game to you, but we just decided to like not do that, and this is the best you're going to get right now from us because we didn't feel like using any more of the power. Like that's like an oxymoron, dude. It doesn't even make sense that they would say something like that. That's pretty stupid to say it's not scratching the full potential of it. I mean, like, yeah, there's definitely new techniques that developers are going to learn software wise to create better software. But as it sits right now, like power wise, I don't know, man. I think that we are, of course, Insomniac has to speak nicely about their overlords. Can you imagine the negative PR it would cause Doom Eternal, Microsoft, Bethesda, id Tech, they're pretty good at what they do, and like that game looks pretty good on the PlayStation 5 as well. So I don't know. I'm not gonna believe all of the PlayStation PR hype anymore stuff, and like I know they're gonna produce like the best looking games on the PlayStation for sure. They always do. So I mean, we'll see when the time comes. I'm not going to buy into all that stuff, but I do feel like the main focus of the PlayStation 5 was the SSD. So I think that they're going to, try to wow us the most with that, with the faster loading times and stuff like that. But as it sits, like visual wise, I'm generally satisfied with the visual experience that the PlayStation 5 has delivered. PS5 is easier to develop and getting better performance out of the gate because they use the same system. That advantage is slowly fading. Yeah, that's very true. I do feel like they did use a more upgraded PS4 Pro platform, so it is easier for them to move the development closer. So that does mean that they are getting pretty close to already being able to tap out that PlayStation 5. The only thing that they can really iterate on and improve is their game engines and developer tricks and stuff, with stuff like UE5 and like new engines are going to be able to use the power more efficiently. So that's basically where I think we're going to see the most upgrades is in game engine software when it comes to being able to create different experiences. Every new gen, a dev always says the sky's the limit. That's very true. And then we usually don't see the sky becoming the limit until the very end of the limit. Think about it. These games were built on the PS4 dev kit and upgraded to PS5. If these games were just fully designed around PS5, then we wouldn't have any launch games. Yeah, that's completely true. And I do believe that. But at the same time, they basically knew about what specs they should be going for. I don't believe anything regarding power of Sony systems. Y'all remember Sony said PS3 could launch missiles? Yeah, PS4s were bought by the military. PS3s were bought by the military, and it was all bullshit. It was in the military. Or year one games. Yeah, year one games are usually not like the cream of the crop for sure. Like I completely agree with that. And I think that we're going to get to a point where we will start seeing something better. Like I definitely believe that things are going to get better, but I don't think it's going to come from the hardware. I think it's going to come from the software development, the developing the new engines for the PlayStation 5 to drive that software. That's where I think we're going to see everything. And that's the same with Microsoft right now. I mean, basically all they're really using on these systems is the rasterization and, like the ray tracing functions and stuff like that. And so far I've been pretty impressed with the ray tracing that we've been able to get when it comes to these new consoles. But I'm also at the same point, like, wondering just how, like, guys, we haven't seen anything yet. Like I don't think we've really seen anything yet. I mean, Resident Evil Village was definitely one of the best looking Resident Evil games I've ever seen in my life. And I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty satisfied with the experience so far, and I'm looking forward to what's going to come in the future. Oh, but we didn't see the PS4 push to its limit until right before launch of PS5, The Last of Us 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. We're at the end of the console; those were running. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I agree. I hope they can get to more of the power a lot sooner this generation, because a lot of it has to do with developing the tech, the engines for these games, and it usually takes them a whole generation to build, the tech for that next generation. So we get all these good games, at the end of the generation, and then the next generation we basically get that new tech that was built for the last console generation. So yeah, I mean, it's funny how everyone seems to forget that last generation games media, and especially Sony fans, were dunking on Xbox for typically having 720 to 900p res, and the PS4 was 1080p. Yeah, I mean, apparently resolution doesn't matter anymore, guys. I think it matters. I like resolution. I think resolution is more important than 1 or 2 frames, especially when I can get a VRR TV and get rid of those little frame drops. So now that the power differences are swaying more towards Xbox, Sony fans shoot it down as if nothing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to get a PlayStation 5 Pro. That's probably going to happen. I do think that is going to happen, guys, honestly. And that's going to suck, man, because then I'm going to have a PlayStation 5 in the front room and a PS5 Pro in here, and I just don't know if I'm going to be able to game share on those or not. I wonder what their argument for that PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 5 Pro is going to be, though. Well, we just want to deliver even a better visual experience. I'm like, dude, you told me the PlayStation 5 was great. Now, why do I need a better one if this one's so great? It's just kind of the way it goes, though, guys. All right, my fellas, I'm going to let y'all get back to gaming, and I'm going to get back to gaming. I really appreciate you coming, watching the show. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't hit the like button, hit the like button. And I will see you probably again on Monday for first thing they're going to redesign is that stupid stand and make it so you don't need to use the screwdriver. Yeah, probably. All right, man. You guys have a good night. I want to play some more WRC 9 tonight. Thank you. Thanks, Dark Zero. Appreciate it, man. Thanks for streaming. Go and play some more Plague's Tale. Yeah, that game is really good. Xbox always has had the power difference besides the base Xbox One model. Yeah, that's basically true. PS4 exclusives looked way better than most Xbox games. Yeah, you guys have a good night, man. I will definitely be back on. I might stream tomorrow morning. Maybe it just depends on how I'm feeling. I wanted to play some games before I have to go to work tomorrow at 5, but I might get on for a little while. Probably definitely put out a video at least. So, all right, man. You guys have a good night. Thanks for coming. Thanks for spending time with me.